Hi everyone, and welcome back to my reaction video. I appreciate you stopping by. And today the song we're going to check out is The Underground in America by Pantera. And full disclosure, it is possible that I've heard the song before, considering back in high school I used to listen to Pantera and Megadeth albums on repeat on my bus ride to school. So it's possible I've heard the song before, but it's probably been a very long time since I've heard it. So I actually also received this as a recommendation from a friend of mine who said that they believe this is the heaviest Pantera song. So we're gonna go ahead and verify if that's true today. Um, Actually, in my opinion, of the songs I can remember from this band, I'd say probably the heaviest song, in my opinion, is another track off this record, which is Suicide Note Part 2. That song is so freaking heavy. Actually, I did a cover of it recently. I was gonna shamelessly self-plug it really quick. But yeah, anyway, that's enough yapping from me. Of course, rest in peace to Vinnie Paul and Dimebag Daryl, and let's get right into this. I'm expecting to do some really heavy-ass headbanging right here. Okay, this is Editing Mason right here, and I also wanted to mention that I'm recording this reaction because the album, The Great Southern Trendkill, turns 30 years old today, so happy 30-year anniversary to one of the best metal albums, one of the heaviest metal albums of all time. With that guitar feedback in the intro. The iconic Dimebag pinch harmonic squeals in that riff. Oh, that is heavy. Oh, that is so cool. Oh, that intro is really, really heavy, of course. I think many argue that this might be Pantera's heaviest album. I think I might be inclined to agree. Based on the songs I can remember off this record, really heavy riffs. Just think about the title track and also, of course, Suicide Note Part 2, not to mention. Um, really heavy tracks. And I think this track is going to be really heavy too. But yeah, the intro is really cool. I like how they kind of played it in three different variations. I think they first played it in a higher key and then they went to a lower key. And then once the vocals came in, they kind of did like a palm muted version of that. Really, really heavy in all three different variations. Those pinch harmonics are really nice. Iconic Dimebag squeals. And here it is in a lower key. I have to say, Phil's vocals on this song, I think this record in general, also sound like the most aggressive of the records, in my opinion. Um, I actually have heard that the story behind this album is that Phil had to record his vocals in like a different location compared to, in a different state, I think, actually compared to the rest of the band because I think he was really addicted to heroin and then he was really aggressive and he wasn't getting along with the rest of the band, so he did his vocals in a separate location. And you can definitely hear that kind of anger in his vocals, probably a symptom of what he was going through at that time. Um, in his vocals here, like they just sound so aggressive and angry, and you can like almost like you can't really see it, like you can't actually see like spit coming out of his mouth, but you can kind of imagine that when he's doing these vocals, like he has like spit coming out of his mouth just based on how aggressive he's singing these really, really nice vocals in line with the rest of the heaviness of the song. I really like the pulsating on that riff. Oh, I like the songwriting of that guitar riff right there with the drums, kind of doing like a pause in between the riff, makes it kind of brings you in the heaviness, and then it kind of takes you out for a second, and then it kind of brings you back in. A really, really nice feeling. I can just imagine like if you're at a live concert when the song is playing, like the mosh pit suddenly it just stops for a second during that little rest and then comes back in full force right when the riff comes back in. I can just kind of imagine that kind of environment where this riff is being played. Oh. That's heavy. Wow. Oh wow. Interesting sound there. That is a really interesting sound. I wonder how he's doing that effect. I'm assuming that's going to be Dimebag's guitar right there. And I know Dimebag is also kind of virtuoso when it comes to guitar pedals and stuff. You hear actually the guitar pedals a lot on this record. I mentioned before Suicide Note Part 2, which I think uses like a Digitech whammy to create a really interesting sound. And I think here it sounds like he's using something similar, but also kind of like a tremolo effect maybe. I can't say for sure without looking at his pedal board, but I know he's kind of a master of the pedals, so I'm assuming it's a lot of different effects going on right there. But that's not really cool. Really short solo there, by the way. I don't know if that was a proper solo. I don't know if that was the proper solo of this song. We'll see when we listen to the rest of the song. But really, really cool section too. The section before that, I really like how they transition that too, with kind of the drums kind of slowly coming in, louder dynamic, starting off kind of quiet and then slowly fading in to get louder. Let's listen to that again, actually. That's a cool sound right there, string noise. I like how the guitar and drums are in sync there. Yeah, that sound, wow. it doesn't sound like a guitar, I think I'm pretty confident it's a guitar, um, but it almost doesn't sound like one. He's doing something to kind of manipulate the sound of it to make it sound more like a traditional string instrument, like an orchestral string instrument. To almost sound like a string instrument that's being played with a bow, kind of like maybe like a violin or even maybe like an accordion or something is kind of the texture I get from that little section, from that little guitar lick, I guess. But yeah, it sounds really, really cool and interesting. It sounds kind of eerie too. Yeah, it sounds like a bow that's playing that. And there's no rhythm guitar here, just Dimeband's guitar. So back to the main riff. Little pick scrapes back there too. Oh wow, it just ends like that. Um, that last minute or so was crazy, like chaotic feeling, I guess. I also know that Seth Putnam of Anal Cut, rest in peace to him as well, did vocals, or he kind of did like screaming vocals on the song. I'm not sure if that was Phil kind of doing those growls in the back or Seth, but whoever did those definitely did a really good job of adding to like the chaos feeling of that last 30 seconds or so. But yeah, overall, a really, really heavy songs I expected of this record. Like this record is probably Pantera's heaviest record in my opinion. Their most like I think also the band was going through the most turmoil during this time, so I think it's really reflected in that music, the kind of conflict, inner conflict that was going on through that band. Like everyone just sounds like they're in pain in this album, is how I feel. But yeah, after listening to this song, I still think that Suicide Note Part 2 is the heavier song though. Um, that's just my personal opinion, but that song has a certain visceral groove that you can't really match. This song, of course, also I really like the main riff though. I think that's probably my favorite part. Is also a really heavy main riff, but I just don't think it matches up to Suicide Note Part 2. But yeah, that's my reaction to Underground in America by Pantera. If you guys have any more suggestions from Pantera, please feel free to leave in the comments below, and I appreciate you watching this video.